Hello, everyone. It's time to eat, drink, and be merry with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Sausage Day Show.
Do, do, do-do-do-do-do, do, do, do-do-do-do-do, do. It's sausage time, yeah, it's sausage time. Oh, it's sausage time, very best time of day. It's sausage time, yeah, it's sausage time. And when sausage time comes, can sausage be far away? Bring on the soup dish, bring on the cup, bring on the sausage and fill me up, 'cause it's sausage time. Wintertime's nice with the ice and snow. Summertime's nice with a place to go. Bedtime, overtime, halftime too. But they can't hold a candle to my sausage time. Oh yeah! Bring on the sausage, bring on the bun. My little tummy loves everyone, 'cause it's sausage. 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 Super duper sausage time.
Welcome to Big Blend Radio Sausage Day. This is part 2 of our special Sausage Day broadcast. This episode takes us from San Diego, California to Arizona, Southwest Louisiana, then off to England and South Africa. Enjoy. It's Sausage Day. It's Sausage Day. And we get to go back to Southern California between San Diego and Temecula because we get to chat with five-star chef Ivan Flowers. You've heard him on our shows over the years. I mean, many years. You can go to blendradioandtv.com to check out his recipes, listen to past interviews. He's always fun, and he always gives us a lot of good information for getting in the kitchen, whether it's choosing our produce, our meats, our proteins, whatever it is in the grocery store, to how to prepare them. He always teaches us good stuff, and he teaches too. He's a culinary instructor in Temecula, so he hangs out with kids and gets them cooking, which is so exciting. So welcome back, Chef Ivan. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be with you guys.
It's been a while.
And it's Sausage Day, you know? Everybody wants
Sausage
to celebrate
Day, yes.
sausage. So yeah, what's the age group that you teach in Temecula?
I teach 9th grade to seniors, so
Wow.
15 to 18. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. And how's it going? Because I mean, you've been doing this for a while now. Do you get sad when they graduate? And
I miss them.
Yeah.
I miss them. I miss them when they graduate. You know, you get very close with a lot of these students. It becomes like a bit of a family, and then when they move on, you think about them. You wonder how they're doing, and
Are they cooking?
So yeah, but it's very rewarding.
I remember when you
cool.
first came on the show, when you were not you've been on the show since the beginning, I think, right? Like 15 years with us. And
yes.
Yeah, way back to when you had Il Forno's in Sedona, and I mean you Palm Springs, and I mean we've rolled this together pretty well. And but when you first started teaching,
it's been a long road.
It's a long road and colorful and fun, and we're going to have fun because we're talking sausage. But I remember you saying when you first started teaching the kids, like, okay, we're going to now cut up a chicken, and one wants to pass out. So are the new the new batches, are you going through that again?
Yes, that's one of the biggest lessons, because being able to fabricate your own chicken when they're on sale for 89 cents a pound, you buy a 7-pound chicken, it costs you $6 and change versus the parts. Boneless, skinless breast can be $10. You not only learn how to do that, and then you can make stock and you can make soup, and it's a protein that really can save you a fortune. Because, the poultry industry wants to sell you the parts. That's where the profit is. And it's so easy and it's so quick. It's a skill that everyone should master.
And
It's
for
true.
sausage, go ahead, Nancy.
I was going to say, my grandmother, she never bought parts. She always went she used to call it the full Monty.
Right.
Listen, when we talk sausage, we want the full Monty as well. I mean,
exactly.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about this with you, because I know you always talk about using everything and not wasting protein, right? Or
Right.
anything really. Don't waste
Right.
it. And right now, I have to tell you, we're recording on a farm in Rougemont, North Carolina. Nancy and I are taking care of chickens and guinea fowls. I'm harvesting eggplant and chilies and lima beans and all kinds. Yeah, like this is the full farm experience. And so we're working and tomatoes, and it's interesting. Roma tomatoes. I think of you when I always think of people while I'm picking stuff because of recipes and everything we've talked on shows. And it really gets by picking vegetables and everything and harvesting the eggs. And then if a predator gets a chicken, like you've talked to the chicken and you're like, damn it, you really realize the value. Like the grocery store, I went into a grocery store and they were selling organic eggplant for like $4 or $5 a piece. And I'm like, wow. And at the same time going, every time you're picking them, those little buggers have thorns and it hurts, So there's a value you get from doing the work versus what happens in those stores. And I think sausage, this is where I'm going, Sausage Day is important because wasn't sausage at one point part of not throwing away the meat like the rest of the meat? Isn't it part of that where you're going to use extras and you're not going to throw away the protein? Or is it good? Are you using high end stuff in the sausage?
No, it's a mixture. If you make your own sausage, that's like a whole other broadcast, because that's a whole thing. Where you're grinding it and you're doing a spice blend, you're putting it through a sausage machine, you're putting the casing onto, that's a whole other thing. But when you're looking, first of all, a well-made sausage is probably one of the most flavorful things you could eat. I got turned on to it when I was very young. My dad took me to Nathan's in Coney Island and a Frankfurter, which is what they called them back then, which has a natural casing. Small sausages use sheep casing, bigger use the hog, and they griddle it. And when you bite into that sausage and you get that snap, and then you get that garlic and that paprika and that spice blend, there's nothing like it, and they tend to be, on the fatty side. So that's why they put kraut on it. They put vinegar-based mustards, because you want that balance and then that sweetness of the roll. There's nothing like it. What you want to look for, and a lot of them are doing it now, is nitrate and nitrite free. Okay, they're not putting the sodium nitrate in it. Also, you want to look at sodium levels. A lot of them are making it much less salty. Where sausage used to be, this is delicious, but nitrates and sodium, it's not the case. And of course, you've got a variety of beef and pork, seafood sausages, fresh mozzarella, basil, spices, that are just remarkable out there. And the trick, which most people do not do, is you want to poach it in 185 degree water for 8 minutes. Then, or poach in beer. Okay. Then you want to go in a saute pan, a grill, or a griddle. And you want to get that natural casing caramelized. So when you get that snap, that poach made the sausage kind of come alive. The fats and everything in there kind of, woke up. And then, you've got that snap, you've got that sear, you're on your way.
Okay. So you remind me of my dad in a way, because he was a butcher. And when he brought sausage home, he was so adamant about how it was cooked, because he had to sing about pork. and that everything needed to be fully cooked to get rid of stuff that you didn't really want to know was in there, kind of thing.
Right.
And yeah, so he would demand that everything was simmered either 20 minutes or boiled for 5. And then you
Right.
and then
Right.
yeah, and then you take it off, then you do your seasoning, and then you present it, and then you know it's safe.
Then you present the sausage. Sorry, I had to
Yes,
go
you
there.
do. And then, but, and I remember him like sausage. Sausage has been around for more than 5,000 years. That's
Oh,
how-
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is one of the first ways of saving meat
Yeah.
in a safe way to eat.
Mhm.
I just have, there's a poem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So to him, it was like when he brought home sausage, as opposed to like he could bring home roast beef, but it was when he brought home sausage that everybody got excited. Because he made it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all in the seasoning.
Mhm.
It's all in the seasoning. Once you get that seasoning blend, and a lot of times when you make your own sausage, they'll put ice cubes in because they don't want the meat to get too hot when they put it through the grinder. So there's all these little tricks, but oh my God, a really well-made artisan sausage with that snap, and that flavor profile, and of course whatever else you want to put on it. I mean, it's one of the top things that you can eat where you go, oh my God, this is delicious.
This is interesting what you're talking about, making sure that you poach, and you talk about don't break the casing. Like, okay, so it's this, sorry, but it's the condom of the sausage. You do not want to break it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I couldn't
Hello.
help it. I'm sorry.
Hello.
It's sausage day, but it's protection. That's what I mean. I'm not being rude.
Well,
It's
that's
just a
when you put
protection.
mayonnaise on it. That's when you put the mayonnaise topping.
See, that's a mayonnaise, and then if you really want to get crazy, you have sauerkraut. See, all around it. But anyway, so the thing too with this though, with the sausage, what's interesting what you talk about, poaching it first. Don't let the casing break. None of us want that, especially not in this country right now. Then, when it comes, sorry, oh God, it just has to happen. Has to happen. It just had to happen. Yeah. And we always want a well-put sausage too. But because it's in this casing, it kind of reminds me of how we would boil things in a bag. There's like that like even tin foil, using it as like a little tent to cook things for the moist. I got it said the word moist.
Yeah, like a paupiette. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. And
Yeah.
then at the same time, I'm like, okay, we have, these casings, you've got these little baggies. This is something that we can kind of learn to do in our cooking a little bit more, because doesn't that help us not use so much oil and things like that for our cooking? So we can tenderize and then fry, saute, that kind of thing. Or is it sous vide?
Yes.
Sous vide? Because I remember, is it Bodker Mansion, Nancy? Steve Hyatt, he was doing that with his, he showed us how to make blue cornmeal pancakes. It's a New Mexico thing, right? In Albuquerque. And then he sous vide the sausage, which of course you're not getting giggles. And sous vide, I don't know how to say it. He had this thing, and he said, and he said you want to keep it moist on the inside, and then you do the frying later.
Exactly, which is what poaching does, the same thing. It enables you to keep moisture levels correct, so that by the time you finish it on the grill, the griddle, or the saute pan, it doesn't dry up on you. If you break the casing, it starts to bubble out, and you start to lose that liquid.
Yeah.
And just the simple fact of making a sausage, the art, where when you're feeding it into the tube and it's going into the casing, you have to do it perfect. You can't have a break, you can't have a space, and then you have to hand tie everything, without breaking the hog casing. It's quite an art. It's very rarely done anymore. Natural casing is very hard to find.
We've seen some casing done, and it's not an easy thing, and you do have to watch it. I mean,
Well, it was interesting.
It's kind of weird to watch.
Everyone will hear
like,
on this show, Jeff-Benoit from
Mhm.
B&O Grocery out in Louisiana. He did Boudin, which is French, but it's French Cajun.
Oh, I love Boudin.
You know,
it's so
we
good.
watched him make it. We have a video up there on YouTube of him. Just type in B&O Jeff-Benoit, Benoit, on YouTube, and watch him make this. I mean, my mind was blown. He got us to eat hogshead cheese, Ivan. Like that's a big deal to get us to do that.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And he got it, but he said that the boudin
It
and
just
the
sounds
sausage.
awful.
He
They
said
need to
that
rename it.
because he also, does deer and all of that because of what they eat over there and hunt and do. But he doesn't hunt. He is the casing master basically. And he said back in the day, like their casings were like old school hot. Like it's not necessarily even legal now, but way back when they were doing like real hog casing versus what you buy now versus sheep casing. Like he was saying the casing is one of the most important things, basic. And we had this whole conversation off air, but like casing is key to the sausage.
Yeah, that it means everything. There are companies, and most of them are not in this country anymore because of the patience that it takes. Where when you're packing casing, it comes out like string, and then you're packing it in salt. You have people standing 8 and 9 hours every foot. They're pulling, they're laying it down. They're pulling, they're laying it down. When you buy sheep and hog casing, you really have to know what you're doing. And the amount of work that goes into that, now they just use collagen or they just form it by pressure mold. And so there's no snap. There's nothing going on. It's that snap. I'll never forget Nathan's with my dad and the way that Frankfurter snapped with that sauerkraut and that beautiful mustard with an ice cold Coca-Cola and seasoned waffle fries. I dream about this.
There is listen,
funny.
The sauerkraut is a big deal, and I know a lot of people making sauerkraut right now. It's that season. We're in October,
because it's the perfect. It's the perfect side dish.
God, sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. You have to be careful with sauerkraut when you serve it, how you serve it, and what you put with it.
Ivan, isn't it good fiber for us to have sauerkraut? Isn't it?
It's not only good fiber; it's fermented, so it's full of probiotics. It's very healthy. But what is it? Prebiotics. But you got to be careful because some of it is really salty. Yeah. And then if you've got a very salty sausage, you're looking at 2,000 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing you were talking about. Watch the label so the people are learning because, Nancy loves her bacon. And once in a blue moon, I'll go, okay, I'm going to get bacon for Nancy. And then I see that what you're talking about, the no nitrates and whatever I can do, like Applewood normally, or there's like ones that are really healthy. And I'll bring home the bacon for Nancy, and she gets very excited. And then I like her. Sausage Day is good too. Sausage Day, everybody loves Sausage Day, but there are some really cool ones. There's the sausage. They have cheese. I like the ones with cheese in there, but I want the spice andouille. We didn't even talk about andouille yet. Andouille, dude.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's
good. We want the andouille and. So andouille is a big deal. We haven't talked about that much, but Chef Ivan, do you like andouille? I mean, what is it? Is it the spice in it that makes it andouille?
Yeah, it's and all the spices are different.
Yeah,
and it's always in a natural casing. Sometimes it's smoked too. You have regular andouille, you have smoked andouille. Yeah, andouille's been around for a long time.
Everybody likes a nice smoked sausage.
But I mean, I have to go back to my dad. He taught me about the world of sausage in more than one way.
This does not sound right.
No, it's like beware of this. And he talked about when you dry it up by cooking it too hot, too fast, and about
little shrivel.
moisture content, and most importantly was seasoning. And he changed the seasoning in the butchery. He changed the seasoning according to the month, like and the season. So winter sausage would taste different than summer sausage.
Well, and then fall
Right.
sausage, you got sage and all of that in there, right? That's more of that kind of flavor.
And
And when you bite
go ahead.
when you bite into a sausage, it should spit juice.
Yeah.
I mean, it should pop and be juicy. I mean, they make blood sausage, which turns a lot of people off. It's absolutely delicious. And
It's
again, it
just
comes
the
down
name.
to seasoning, casing. Yeah, I know.
That they should change the name.
But blood sausage, but that isn't that a European or is that English, Scottish? The blood sausage, it's like
It's very European. Yeah, it's very Eastern European. Yeah,
Yeah.
and blood soup, and
wow.
all of it. You can make sausage. You can make kung pao shrimp or kung pao lobster langostino sausage,
Yeah.
which is like with tarragon and a little bit of spice and Asian herbs. That it's like, oh God, and then you do maybe a sesame soy mustard and a little bit of kimchi. You're on your way.
Oh, I didn't even think about Asian food having sausage.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Huh.
my dad actually made bread sausage as a dessert, which was weird. Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole other.
Well, it was kind of like my grandmother's fruitcake kind of thing, but it was in a casing, and that added a little spicy, salty to something that was sweet inside. It was like this, dude, he was a sausage dude. But I just want to say this. I looked this up. The world's largest Cumberland sausage ring weighed 300 pounds. Now, Ivan, how big do you think a 300 pounds?
You're breaking up.
Oh,
Hello,
yeah,
hello.
We're breaking up.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I read the world's largest Cumberland sausage ring weighed nearly 300 pounds. How
Wow.
big is that? I mean,
I can't even imagine.
I know.
It's a big sausage.
Well, it was more than 5 feet in diameter. And I'm like, in diameter, not
You're
length.
breaking up.
Oh,
Okay.
It's
Can you hear me?
Hard to
Can
hear
you
you. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me now? I
Yes,
can hear
can
you
you
right
hear
now.
me? I'm
But
gonna
there's a lot of
yell down the sausage tunnel. So 5 feet in diameter. That's pretty crazy.
that's a pretty big sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chef Ivan, I've got to ask in closing. We've got to play the game, the sausage game. But
Yes.
what
Yes.
for you? Sitting down, I know Tracy's a vegetarian, so I know she's going to have
Yes,
to
she
have a veggie sausage. But
What you can have dessert sausage.
well, there's vegan and vegetarian sausage thingies out there. But for you,
Sure.
if you're going to have a sausage, are we going back to Nathan's? Is that your ultimate sausage meal?
Say that again.
What is your ultimate sausage meal? Is it the Nathan's, or would you make something different being in San Diego? To be honest with you, I've tried a lot of sausages, and people never think of as hot dogs or Frank's as sausages, and they are. Yeah. I would go with Nathan's. He did the recipe in 1912, 1914.
Wow.
Nathan Feldman never changed it. And it is, without a doubt, one of the most flavorful sausages I've ever experienced.
That's it. And what kind of beer are you going to have with it? Because I know, right? You're going to have beer with it.
I like light beer. So I live in San Diego. It's a world of heavy craft IPAs at 600 calories a glass. Good luck.
Oh,
I'd have a really nice ice cold Coors Light.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I was going to go.
Or actually a root beer soda, or a nice root bear, or actually a cream soda.
That's an idea.
Soda.
I would do root beer.
I would go for the cream soda. I would
do the
cream
root
soda.
beer. I'm going to try that. That sounds actually pretty good.
The knack of a cream soda where in South Africa, we used to have cream sodas and they were green. This
Yeah,
country,
that's
it's
weird.
different. And I don't understand all of that, but it's
called
that it's
food
not
coloring.
overly sweet. You know, there's a,
No.
the right cream soda has a little kick of spice to it. There's like almost
Yes.
like sassafras. Like I can't explain it. It just has that little ting, you know. Is it
There's
vanilla?
also there's also the New York coffee soda that comes in the heavy glass 7-ounce bottles that tastes like a sweet espresso. Oh, fabulous!
Are you kidding me? I've never had that. Wow. We did go to New York, by the way, Ivan. We went in upstate New York, just so you know. We did do a little bit of New York, not New York City. We did not get there, but we did upstate New York, and it is absolutely beautiful. And
Where did you go upstate? What part?
We drove from Baltic, Connecticut to Michigan. So we went we went through Seneca Falls, Rochester.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
all
Yeah,
along
Seneca's
the Erie
beautiful.
Canal,
It's
and
beautiful.
it was incredible, and some beautiful
Not at
wildlife
all
refuges.
not what we thought it would be.
No.
No.
It was beautiful.
No.
Really,
Awesome.
really
No,
beautiful.
No, it's not New York City. No, it's very
No.
different.
No, and Connecticut's beautiful too. I will say that's that's the furthest northeast we've been, except for we almost did end up in Boston, and we did go through Massachusetts by accident. But you know, all I know is we have a lot of toll road fines to pay, or whatever bills, or whatever. We just every other
Good
week
for you.
we're getting like, pay this. All right. So going back to Sausage Day, it's the Sausage Day game. Do you choose a book, music, or a movie to play the game?
I would choose a book.
Okay.
Okay, so the
I
book
love that.
thing.
Yes,
Go ahead. I'm just gonna say
I
you
love
gotta
Anne Rice.
Oh, wait. Okay, wait.
Cool.
Wait, hold on. So everybody knows when you play the game, you got to take one word from the title of the book and
Yes.
swap it over to the fabulous word of sausage. So Anne Rice has a
I
sausage.
would do Interview with the Sausage.
I like
love
that.
it.
I would interview
love
the
it.
sausage.
You would interview the sausage. I would
That's
see
so
that
I would
funny.
have a
Ivan's-
long talk. A long talk.
and ask
And-
them about their snap. Are you a snappy sausage? 'Cause
Oh,
that
where'd you get
apparently
your
is the thing.
casing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell
I
us
mean,
about
where
your-
did you come from, and
Yeah.
how are you crafted?
Yeah.
Who made you? Where
Right.
were you made?
What
You know,
hands
what
were
truck
on you?
did they put you in on the
Yeah.
ride to the grocery store? You're snapping, so you're trying to tell me something. What are you trying to tell me?
Yeah, what key is your snap in?
No,
Sorry.
when the sausage is moving, when you look at the meat counter and they're moving in the package, I walk.
Don't.
Yes.
There's something weird. Well, Chef Ivan, always a pleasure having you on the show. We always go over on time,
Yes,
right? We've already
thank
done
you.
really good on that, but thank you. Say hi to Tracy
Also-
for us. Yes.
I will. I'll just tell you real quickly, if you are a vampire, you have a
Yes.
blood sausage, so you don't have to start going around in the middle of the night and biting people in the neck.
Just
Oh,
suck
but
on a
that
sausage.
takes all the fun out of it.
All vampires must suck on a sausage. That's it.
Yes.
Don't put
That-
garlic in the blood sausage then, because, you know.
Yes, that's maybe
Oh,
why
that's
they
right.
don't.
Very good.
Yeah,
No
I didn't think
garlic.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, no
that's
garlic.
why they're like, oh no, you ruined
No
it.
garlic for you. All right, everyone. Chef Ivan's recipes and tips. He's got sausage tips. I had to. On blendradioandtv.com, you can listen to his past interviews. And of course, we always like to be silly on these shows because you know what? Sausage Day is silly because sausage is squirrely in the hands. It may flip right out of your hands. So that's why
Yes.
people try to put links in it. All right. Thanks so much, Chef Ivan.
Oh, my pleasure. Have a good day, guys.
You guys take care.
It's Sausage Day. We're going to San Diego. It's Sausage Day. We're going to Julian up in San Diego's mountains in beautiful Southern California. And I'm telling you, the month of October is one of the most popular times to visit. If you want fall colors, you can experience that in Southern California. And Julian is the place. It's known for its apples and pears and peaches. And it's a beautiful historic mining town, also known for its wine. And one of the most popular destinations is Jeremy's on the Hill California Style Bistro. And I encourage you to go to their website, jeremysonthehill.com. But even more, go to the restaurant itself. You're talking really farm to table fare, really locally sourced ingredients, and amazing food produced by Chef Jeremy-Manley and his team. Chef Jeremy is cordon bleu trained and all that good stuff. And we know his food is good. And he's joining us today to talk sausage. So welcome back to the show, Chef Jeremy. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, we're doing
Good.
What's in your sausage? We have to ask.
Yes, what's in your sausage?
I'm grinning from ear to ear right now because there's so many metaphors and similes going through my head of where this radio show is going to go today.
Yeah, sausage similes. I love that. I love that. But San Diego sausage, I think of San Diego as it's still a big beer town. I mean, the county itself,
San Diego,
right?
Julian is the head of the Hop Highway. Like you have Highway 78, and starting up at the top, you have Nickel Beer Company, which pretty much flows down through Miramar and Escondido area where there's Stone, Alesmith. There's so many incredible breweries, and I can't think of a more appropriate food or topic to pair with beer, whether it's 10 in the morning or 2 a.m. in the morning, than sausage.
That's right.
Everybody loves sausage. Now, would you say, because of the beer scene, when you think about, and it's Oktoberfest time and all of that, even actually Oktoberfest really started in September, just saying. But when you think about sausage and beer, is it always going to be the bratwurst, that kind of thing? Or when you're in San Diego, are you thinking more chorizo? What are we thinking for San Diego style sausage?
There's so many creative options. I feel like we live in a time where the ingredients of all over the food are so readily available. I feel like San Diego being so close to the border of Mexico it could be chorizo. It could be a lighter ground pork sausage without as many like heavily spiced flavors that could be marinated in like a lager, like a salt and lime lager. And it's just, I feel like sausage is one of those multicultural ingredients that the foundation of it is so broad that you could do anything with it. You could pair it with, you could stuff it with dried Bing cherries, dried sage, and take it in one direction. You could use ingredients that are south of the border and take it in a whole nother direction. It's one of those vehicles like chicken where you could pair it, season it, cook it, grill it, fry it, boil it,
Stuff it.
Yeah.
So you could
sky's the limit.
You could do anything with your sausage.
That's right. Yeah. You can
This is
spice
true.
your sausage any way you want. Now, okay, when you think south of the border for you, right? When we think sausage, is it always pork? Is that always like the main ingredient? Or, aren't there like beef,
Well,
all
it's
beef
beef.
sausage? Because, when I think about those of Jewish faith, they don't want to have the pork, but they may want a sausage,
Pork, beef, and poultry are the three that I'm most familiar with.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
so
turkey
there's
sausage.
like
huh.
turkey sausage. Yeah, so turkey or
Ah.
chicken sausage, because any meat you could run through a grinder, which is essentially what sausage is. Sausage is, it's usually like from a more tough cut of meat that you would need to, say, braise down for long hours and periods of time in order for it to become tender. But by putting it through a meat grinder, you're breaking up and cutting down all those chunks of meat that are super tough. So if you were to look at it like ground beef and sausage are both really like tougher cuts of the meat.
Mhm.
And in order for us to be able to eat them as quick as we do in a hamburger or a sausage patty, they got to be ground up and broken down. So that way the muscle fibers don't get tense and become overly chewy. So like if you
Okay.
get a sausage that's overcooked, it's more chewy, but it's ground so fine that while you're chewing it, you don't notice it as much. Versus if you were to take like a pork butt, which is a pig's shoulder, and cook it for a long period of time, but it didn't break down enough, it would just be really chewy and tough. So I think the sausage grinding attachment that you can get them for KitchenAids or Hobart mixers. By breaking down the meat and cutting it and running it through that grinder 2 or 3 times, it ensures that your meat's going to be well done, because I think we live in a culture where pork is still, we get people in the restaurant more often than not who lean towards a well done cut of meat, mostly because I think it's the demographic that we work with. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. So by breaking down the cuts of meat in the sausage grinder, you're actually ensuring that if you were to overcook the sausage, it would still be soft and tender, because it's like chewing up food and like everything's broken down so finely.
Yeah, so you can also cook it quicker and know that it's cooked. I know people get nervous about pork, but like you're saying, you can do turkey, you can do all these things. One thing for fall, you mentioned sage, and I remember we were at a bed and breakfast, and she did. She made a dish with quiche, and then she had sausage on the side, and I think she was getting it locally or stuffing it herself, but she was all about sage, and she even put like a little bit of apple or something with it, and because it was fall. And I was thinking that that's got to be something, even when we go heading into Thanksgiving, that, you know, people could stuff their turkey with sausage, right? Or you don't want to, do you put the stuffing in the turkey? I don't know what to do anymore about turkey, who's stuffing what, but I mean, don't we use sausage in stuffing?
You know, I think you absolutely could. One of the things that's so great about cooking, and nowadays it's like everybody's asking questions, and it's like, I feel like with food, there's always a continual renaissance happening to where new creative and genius ideas are born from just simple trial and error. You know, there's some recipes where it's like, if you're taking a turkey for Thanksgiving, and they'll say like rub butter underneath the skin of the bird. There's no reason you couldn't put sausage underneath the skin of the bird. I mean, they have those, what were they called? Turduckins, where it was like a turkey, a duck, and a chicken all wrapped in one. So I think with food, the only real like solid recipes that are hard to like manipulate or get creatively different is baking, when you have to have specific measurements and portions. But when it comes to entrees and appetizers and different creative ideas that we come up with, there's really no rules. There's guides, like you were talking about sausage with apple sage. I mean, those are all pork, apple, sage, are just like love and marriage together. I mean, that's there's so many great books out there that anybody could pick up for themselves. That there's this one called Culinary Artistry, and what it is it'll give you like pork. It'll give you the word pork, and it'll give you like 40 different pairings for items that you could put with pork. And that's a great book and a great tool for people who want to try something new, try something creative. People who cook the same thing over and over again, who want to try something just a little different, but you know, stay in that same like caliber and quality of food. It's a great book to add to your library and just to absorb the knowledge from.
That's cool.
So,
that's a good recommendation.
Yeah. So could you make a dessert sausage?
Absolutely. There's I mean, if I was going to try a dessert sausage, what would I do? I probably wouldn't use meat, but I would try to do something reminiscent with like chocolate, dried berries.
I was thinking berries had to be part of it. We got to put the berries in the sausage. Yeah, and you could use like you could like a cannoli. Like blackberries would be good, and like a cannoli kind of thing, right? We want to do that. So it's like stuff the cannoli, stuff the sausage. Now, for you, like when you think about Julian, and you guys are in apple country, and you know, I know fall is a busy time, and everyone, Jeremy's open daily. Go to jeremysonthehill.com. Really, it's worth your time, and it is delicious. It is a delicious experience. They've got all kinds of specials on their site too, so watch for that, and on their Facebook. But for you, when you think about Julian, and if you were just going to do a special sausage day, what would you do? What would you serve? And because now you guys also sell cocktails, right? You've got cocktails. Things have like
Correct.
changed up. Yeah, party time.
Woohoo.
Let's go run a tab at Jeremy's. But, tell us what would you be like? What would you serve for Sausage Day?
I would more than likely, I would do something with ground pork, and then knowing how I like to operate is I try to use ingredients that I have in-house with what new ingredients I bring in. I would take ground pork. I would take our sauteed apples and cobbler filling that we do, and then I would mix that together, and I'd probably hit it with a little bit of sage, and then I would find a way to do I'd probably grill it in a pan, hit it with butter, make it turn it into like a brown butter sage sauce, and serve it with butternut squash and wild rice.
Ooh.
I think to me that just screams fall, but it also screams like a complete balanced meal. It's like you got a little bit of fruit in there, you got protein, you got the complex carbohydrates.
I like that.
And
Yeah.
It hits the umami flavor. Like you have
You
sweet,
said umami.
savory, a little
Umami.
salty.
Not your mommy.
But you got
Oh, mama?
yeah,
Oh, mama.
mama. Yes,
Mama.
hello. You got something a little
This is Mom.
wild. You've got
Mama's
something
got
wild
sausage.
with your sausage.
Oopsie.
I had to call this sausage gone wild.
I know. Oh well. All right. Well, now what would you?
Lisa's
serve
mom likes
with it?
sausage.
Yes.
What would you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, mommy. What would you serve to drink with that? Because you could do wine or beer with that, couldn't you?
Yeah, I would probably stick with a beer. I do like a wheat beer,
Nice, yeah.
a wheat beer or a blonde beer, and I'd probably even another fun option might be is like Calvados, which is like an apple liqueur. Even the Aperol spritzer would be good with that.
Man, people
Yeah,
are
I
really
think my
digging
default-
the Aperol lately. That seems to be like the new thing on everywhere is Aperol. I see that everywhere. It was trending on Twitter the other day too.
When I was a kid, when I was 20, it was Jägermeister. So Aperol is much better to be trending than Jägermeister.
I can't even smell Jägermeister anymore. I'm not allowed. That and Goldschlager's off, and Sambuca, those three things are off the list. No longer ever. No, they're a big no. Okay, so Chef Jeremy, are you ready to play the sausage game for Sausage Day? We want to know.
I am ready to play the sausage game.
Okay.
I am ready.
First, you have to sing Sausage Day. Gotta sing Sausage
Sausage Day.
Sausage Day with the umami.
It's
Umami
sausage
celebrates
day.
sausage
Umami,
day.
my sausage.
Okay. So would you like the book? Would you like the movie or the music?
Let's go book.
Okay. So you get to take a book title and replace one of the words with sausage. So give us a book title with the word sausage.
So I'm reading a book right now called Coddling the American Mind.
Oh no.
So I guess the latest and newest edition is going to be Coddling the American Sausage.
Oh God, I love that. That's the best. Chef Jeremy, always a
That's
pleasure to have you
awesome.
on the show. Come back anytime. Everyone, jeremysonthehill.com is the website. Go visit them. And up in Julian, it's a beautiful fall excursion, and you will not be disappointed in the community or at Jeremy's. And he's also got great recipes on his website too. So thank you so much for joining us for Sausage Day.
Sausage Day.
It's Sausage Day, and
It's
we're going back to
Sausage
San
Day.
Diego because it's Sausage Day, and San Diego has many breweries, which means you cannot have beer without sausage. And Ward-Heinrichs, Best Employment Attorney, San-Diego.com is the website. I'm just going to say he's the employment attorney of San Diego, is back on with us. And we had to ask him in San Diego, because I know you represent a lot of restaurants, Ward, if you're going for sausage, where are you going? And beer. I'll let you on that one too.
All right, Kaiserhof.
Okay.
It's a great restaurant in Ocean Beach. It has German fare from beginning to end. That's where I'd go.
Yeah.
Now, do you like a bratwurst, or is it like, do you care what kind?
Well, yeah, I'm not super picky on the kind because I think they're all pretty good, but I do love brats. Brats are one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And then what kind of beer do you like on the side with that?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I like a Belgian beer.
So you're gonna go have the German brat with a Belgian beer.
Well, that's okay.
He's international. That's it.
Good.
Well, you're European. That's cool.
Yeah, well, they say that the Belgians taught the Germans how to make beer, so
I've heard that.
it's related, I guess.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
My favorite is Chimay. Have you ever had Chimay?
I don't think so.
Oh, you got to have some. It's expensive, but it's not one of these Indian pale ales that are really bitter. It's a more malty, sweeter flavor. It's not sweet. It's beer, but it's, to me, it's just.
Is it creamy? Like they get creamy, some of those.
Well, the froth that comes off of it, because it has this yeast that's supposed to be, that these Belgian monks have created over time, have developed over time. And so that's what the yeast causes it to foam up more than any beer you've ever seen. And the foam is delicious. You want to drink that or slurp that in as much as the beer.
Because normally when you're pouring, you're like, don't have the big head of the, on the beer.
Oh, this is no problem with a big head. The foam, don't waste it. It's good.
See, the monks are known for turning water into beer.
That's it. Well, listen, speaking about the monks turning water into beer, there's water into wine. We read about a lady that got pulled over.
I was thinking about some joke about that, but I'm not going to tell it.
No, I'm going to tell it. I've got to talk about this. There was a lady got pulled over, since you're an attorney. She got pulled over by a cop. He says, "Ma'am, what's in your cup?" She goes, "Well, that's water." He goes, "Ma'am, that's wine. That's white wine." She goes, "Jesus did it again."
Someone just told me that joke, just like last week.
It's a Facebook thing. I just saw it. And I had to bring it up. You're an attorney.
I like it.
Wouldn't you? I mean, would you represent her in court and said Jesus did it? I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
put your hand on the Bible. Do it. There you go.
Let's do it. I mean, I don't do much criminal law anymore, but I'd do it for that case. What the heck?
Why not? Why not? All right. So now it's time to play the sausage game.
Okay.
By the way, do you put sauerkraut on your brat?
Yes, I do like that.
Sauerkraut is awesome.
Okay, so sauerkraut goes on there. All right.
Bratwurst and sauerkraut.
Now, do you want book, music, or movie?
Book.
Okay. Right. So you're going to take a book title and you're going to trade out one of the words for our favorite word, which today is sausage.
Farewell to sausage.
Seriously.
Farewell to Arms. I'm actually rereading Hemingway's Farewell to Arms right now.
Okay, so farewell to sausage. Okay. Well,
can I give him mine?
I'm not going to even go there. I'm not going there.
Can I give him one of mine?
Go, Nancy.
Okay, I'm going to take movie, and I discovered that Clint Eastwood movies have a whole lot of sausage opportunities, like dirty sausage, fistful of sausage, paint your sausage.
Oh boy!
I love it.
I'm taking.
Nancy's been burning the midnight oil. I can tell.
I'm going to go with the book. Then I'm going to go with Gone with the Sausage instead of Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Sausage.
Gone with the Sausage. That's another good one. I like
it. Farewell to sausage. Gone with the Sausage and paint your sausage. Thank you so much, Ward. Always fun having you on the show. That's
too much fun. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Sausage Day.
It's Sausage Day.
And we're going to Arizona for Chorizo and Wine. We are going to see Peggy-Fiandaca, our friend who runs and owns LDV Winery in Scottsdale. Well, Scottsdale is their tasting room, and then in the Chiricahua Mountains is where the vineyard and winery is. And right now is harvest time. They're at the end of their harvest period, and Peggy is on our show every first Wednesday on Big Blend Radio. So go to ldvwinery.com and check us out at bigblendradio.com. But Peggy knows all about food and wine pairings, and she's in Arizona, so we figured she's got to represent the chorizo and she's got to represent wine pairings, because all of our sausage show has been about beer and sausage. But I think we can have wine and sausage, right, Peggy? Welcome back. How are you?
Absolutely. A hearty sausage hello from Arizona.
Hearty sausage hello.
That's the first sausage hello we've had.
That's a good sausage hello. I like that, a hearty sausage hello. So what chorizo, what is that? Would you say that is the sausage of Arizona, or is that just me?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You have to have chorizo and eggs for Sunday breakfast.
Yum.
It's just the perfect. And if you want to pair it with wine, you better pair it with a fresh Spanish wine from the Rioja, I can't speak today, region of Spain, because it can stand up to that spiciness of the chorizo. Or you can try a Malbec or a Pinotage, or, order some LDV Syrah. And that would go great with your chorizo dish. That would be awesome.
Wow. So we're talking red wine instead of white?
Yeah, I would put red wine with chorizo because of that spice. And it's, you need something to stand up to that spiciness of the chorizo. At least I have my chorizo spicy.
I'll do anything for your Syrah. Like, seriously, your Syrah had me literally on the floor happy. Not drunk on the floor, but seriously,
tell the truth.
I need to sit down.
Shame the devil.
No, I'll never forget our first tasting of your wine. And, we were in Asheville, North Carolina, which is so funny, where this whole sausage day started. Our friends out there, but we were pet sitting, and, your wine came to actually, we brought it from another place. But anyway, as we travel full time, it's hard to get things. And we got your wine.
Yeah.
And we had dinner, and the ladies made a chicken. We had all these different, tasted your different wines. And then Nancy and I got into your Syrah later, and I'm all everybody's just I like meeting everybody, but leave me with the wine, because this is some really good wine, and I just want to sit with the dogs, and I just want to sip and chill. So there's something in that Syrah. I never even thought about Arizona doing Syrah, you know what I mean? I just didn't.
That's true too.
I didn't know that that would come out of that land, and it's the best, man.
It's doing well, and we're at 5,000 foot elevation, so I think that that change in altitude and weather at that altitude, it just is creating incredible Syrah. If you wanted to go with a white wine or a sparkling wine, you can pair that with andouille sausage. I know I love New Orleans. Louisiana, and because of the spices in the andouille, a traditional andouille goes beautifully with a sparkling wine, a dry sparkling wine, not a sweet, but a dry. And if you want a sparkling, if you love your corn dog, if you're going to the state fair and you want something other than a beer or a soda, try a Brut sparkling wine with your corn dogs.
Ooh. See, now I want to experiment with a dessert sausage to go with the dessert wine.
Okay, but I agree with you on that. But Diva Linda Kassam, who introduced us, right? She was talking about wine and pairing it with corn dogs on her boat. It's just a different thing when she's out floating on her boat in the Pacific Northwest and wine tasting. And she's doing corn dogs. And I was like, what do you mean you're doing corn dogs? You're the diva. And she's like, trust me, wine and corn dogs, it's a whole other thing. And now you're bringing that up. This is interesting because, state fairs are happening across the country. So it's a good time to try that. But I wanted to ask you this because it's fall and we're going to Thanksgiving and Christmas and we're all getting into those, stuffings with sausage because you can stuff things
Absolutely.
apparently. Stuff your turkey. I don't know. Some people put your stuffing on the side, but some people like to shove it in there. Who knows? But what about the sausage that has apple and sage? What wine would you do if there's apple and sage in the sausage?
Well, I do an Italian sausage stuffing with my, of course I'm Italian. Of course you have to do that. It's not
last
as
name's
sweet.
Fiandaca. You can't mess with
Right,
that.
exactly. So, though my Italian sausage stuffing doesn't have the sweetness of the apples, it does have sweet sausage, usually sweet Italian sausage with fennel. And a lot of times that's on the Thanksgiving table. And I would go with something a little bit spicier to go with that tartness that you might get from the sweet Italian sausage. So if you're not doing a Tuscan Chianti, I'd probably go with a Grenache. And LDV has a beautiful Grenache that goes perfect with Thanksgiving. Or you can try a Pinot Noir from the Oregon Willamette Valley would go beautiful. And the thing about Thanksgiving, stuffing as well as all the other things with it, you need to have a wine that's going to stand up to the incredible stuffing with sausage, as well as the rest of the Thanksgiving dinner.
And that's a really, really good point because, I mean, other than maybe Christmas, you just don't have that many different foods
Flavors.
on the table. Yeah. So that, I mean, what you can't just what wine's going to go with everything.
Right.
Because that's
Right.
what you're now looking for. It's something that will complement or at least not kill the flavors of everything that you put on your plate. Because it's crazy what goes on the plates, Normally,
Exactly.
it is crazy what you put on the plates. If you're in a restaurant, they'd be like, no, you don't want to really put that with that. But at Thanksgiving, you just put everything on there.
Yeah.
Or you can do a sparkling. And I would do maybe something that has a little, not totally dry, but maybe a little sweetness to it. A sparkling wine would stand up to Thanksgiving and the variety of things on the table.
All I'm saying is if you're getting together with family, you need wine.
Yeah, you do.
You do need wine. Absolutely.
A lot of it.
Exactly. And, that's the thing. And it is important to have that libation there. I do want to bring this up too. Nancy mentioned, dessert sausage, because she seems to want to make her own dessert sausage. She's mentioned this on the number of recordings we've done for Sausage Day. So if you were going to do a dessert sausage, what would you stuff in a dessert sausage?
I have never heard of a dessert sausage.
I know. That's why I wanted to do
leave it to Nancy.
Okay. Well, I would, if I was going to make a dessert sausage, I would do a more of a savory kind of dessert sausage, and maybe with some cheese in the sausage, because a lot of times you'll have a cheese course for dessert.
Cheesecake.
Yeah, so I would try some winter spice on my pork sausage. So, maybe some.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Ooh,
of
you're going like a
well,
whole other cool route. I like this.
My grandmother
nutmeg
my grandmother used to slice sausage at Christmas and put it in a frying pan.
Nobody wants to hear about slicing the sausage, Nancy. I'm just saying. A lot of people are crossing their legs right now.
She would fry it on one side, and when she flipped it, then she would put a little really thin that she did with how you peel a carrot, that paring knife thingy. She would put a slice of apple on there, and then she would put a walnut.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it was actually really good. So She would
Mhm.
fry the sausage on one side, flip it, so it's going to be done. Then you put the apple and the walnut on it, and then sometimes cheese and sometimes not, depending on who's going to eat it and what they want or not.
Well,
But it was actually like a little hors d'oeuvre. It was
you
pretty
could do
good.
stuff with that. I would crush the walnut up a little bit. And
Right.
She
you
just
know what I
put
mean?
half. She just put half a walnut on.
I
each
wonder if
one,
you
but
could breadcrumb it. Like,
I don't know, but
Mhm.
it
ooh,
was.
now I'm like
It was. Yeah, it was
I
actually
love
really,
walnuts.
really good, and the apple brought sort of a sweetness to it, and
Sure.
the walnut brought the acidity, and I don't know, it
Mm.
was pretty cool actually. It's
I
weird.
like
It
this.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
good. I would try with that. I would try a port style wine.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And maybe
kind of
not
Yeah.
not make it too sweet, but like we do a port style petite Syrah that's only 4% residual sugar, which would be, I think, a beautiful pairing with something like that.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I like this.
Cool.
I like
like it.
this. I like this. We're getting into whole other territories, So I
Right.
mean,
Right.
because I think we always think about sausage and beer, meat and potatoes kind of thing. And I'm so glad you bring the wine element in, because we can have wine and sausage too. We can have bubbles. We can have Syrahs. We can have whatever we want.
Absolutely.
And I love that about our shows with you. You bring out, like, try and do what you want. Like, whatever you
Right.
taste if whatever you feel is about you. It's like interpreting art. And I really appreciate that, because I think it's important as we discover new wines and, go out there and have a good time with it. If you may not like something, it's okay. And if you like something, that's great, and if other people don't like it, well, pooey on them. That's their
Well,
problem,
Everybody has their own taste,
exactly. And so we
scenario.
can celebrate that.
And then
and-
some people are adventurous, some are not.
Mhm.
They never
Nancy's
wanna-
adventurous.
And your
Well-
taste buds your taste changes over time.
Well,
So
and-
it evolves.
It certainly does.
Especially in different countries. We lived in so many different countries that if you didn't evolve, you couldn't eat. So you,
Well, no, but honestly,
no, it's true, because seriously,
Yeah.
you had to, your taste buds would go, okay, I'm not sure I like it, but then this is food and that's how it is.
right.
Yeah. I mean, because there's certain things that you get in certain countries that are always going to be part of their food.
Mhm.
And if you don't like it, either you have to leave the country or eat
And
it.
every country has some kind of sausage. Every country has
Right.
some kind of what we call wiggy, wine, beer, whatever floats your
And some
boat
kind of
or lifts your
fruit
tail
and-
feathers. So
Yeah.
it's true. You got to find it and try it.
Mhm.
Peggy, it is time to play the sausage game. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay,
Cool.
so it's like Jeopardy. Would you like a book? Would you like music or a movie?
I'm going to choose a movie.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so you take the movie title and change one word out to represent the almighty word sausage.
Are you ready for this
Yes.
movie? It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Cool.
It's the Big Sausage.
Is this the Lebowski?
Nope, it's the Big Chill.
Yes,
Oh, the
there's
big
so
chill.
many
Are you
other
kidding
things.
me? You can't chill your sausage. Listen, that's
No,
not
you
happening,
can, but
because if you
it's only
chill your
after you
sausage, you'll
cook
be
it.
like George Costanza in Seinfeld going and
no.
complaining
It
about
shrinks.
shrinkage. But anyway, The Big Chill happens to be one of my top 10
That's
favorite movies
One
of
of the
all
best
time.
movies
And I
ever.
even have the soundtrack on CD in the car.
Yeah.
On
I love it. I love it. I mean, it's one of my favorites too. When people come
Kevin
to visit
Kline,
us at the
William Hurt,
Yep.
Ali
Yep.
Sheedy. Oh, come
Mhm.
on. Everyone's in there. Glenn Close. No,
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
You know what? And when you talk about Thanksgiving and Christmas, like, that's a movie that people should watch
Yeah.
now, of generations coming together, and don't wait for a funeral to get together. right? So
Yeah.
it reminds us of that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
when the
That's
big
awesome.
sausage, when people come down to the vineyard and stay at our house, I always feel like it's the big chill because everyone is pitching in and
Mhm.
cooking together and doing what needs to be done. It's a lot of fun.
That's
So-
cool.
Well, Peggy, you are the last interview we've done for this show, other than our live broadcast. And I have to tell you, no one has
You
come up with
win.
the big sausage.
No,
So,
I love
I
it.
mean, boldly went where no one else went.
It's,
So
no, it's totally appropriate.
I love
It's the
it.
best.
Everyone, keep up with Peggy and LDV Winery at ldvwinery.com. And of course, Peggy's on our show every first Wednesday. And if you go to bigblendradio.com, you can listen there, or go to blendradioandtv.com, type in Peggy, right? And you'll find her interviews, her recipes. And also, the last month in September, we talked about pairing wines with the charcuterie boards. Did I say that right, Peggy? Charcuterie?
Oh.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, I'm learning.
Okay.
She's teaching us. And that is all about sausage and wine and cheese. So
And I
it's a
have to
really
tell you
cool,
this.
great tips that she has on there.
I just read this thing this morning about a butter board. So,
Oh, I saw that too.
Did
I saw
you?
that too.
okay,
yes.
there you go. Your next project, a butter
Oh
board.
boy, all right, butter. I'm
Oh,
all into
'cause I mean,
butters
I was
too.
thinking,
I like butters.
And my mind went,
Oh.
okay, it's gonna all be white wines to cut
It's all going to be
the-
a buttery Chardonnay.
Yeah, no, to cut the grease a little.
The
like
fat.
Yeah.
Who cut
Well,
the fat?
and-
See?
Yeah, we can do a whole show on that.
I
Oh,
love it.
cool.
Thank you, Peggy. It's been fun. Here's to Sausage Day. Go to Arizona, have some chorizo, and have some LDV wine. We're going to Southwest Louisiana on Sausage Day here. We're going to chat with Jeff-Benoit, and Jeff owns and runs B&O. It's a grocery store, but to me, it is the B&O Kitchen and Grocery in Sulphur, Louisiana, which is just outside Lake Charles. It is a destination. If you're crossing the country, you've got to pull over because this is a destination for Boudin. Am I pronouncing all of this right, Jeff? Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing good. And yes, you are pronouncing it right. Boudin.
Boudin. And
Boudin.
did I get your last name right?
Right.
Because that's another thing.
Yeah,
you know.
Yes, Benoit. You did that right too. You're doing good. I think
Okay,
you
what
might
about
say-
the IE? Did I get the IE right? That's
well,
important.
you were close on that one.
Oh,
you were
okay,
close on
so-
that one.
all right.
Hey,
Give us a good.
It's more of an. It's more of a hey.
Oh.
Oh.
Hey. All right. Now I'm gonna. You know, we're on a farm here. I'm gonna
Hey.
start chasing the chickens, going, "Hey."
Yeah,
This is
more
great.
of an A and a long E.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, we visited you, I thought it was 10 years ago, and I looked it up. It's about 7-8 years ago. And you taught us about Boudin, hogshead cheese, and we made an awesome video with you, and everyone's on YouTube. By the time this airs, it'll be on Facebook too, showing how Boudin is made. And Boudin is really, like, when you think about Boudin in the United States, it is Southwest Louisiana, right?
Yes, yeah, it's Southwest Louisiana, from probably the Texas border all the way up through Lafayette, and maybe just a little bit north of I-10. That's where you're going to find most of the Boudin, the good Boudin, this area. So that's the area that I would describe as where the
Oh, you
Boudin
think
is
the
at.
good Boudin. So, like, that's an
Mhm.
important part.
There's places scattered here and there, that make it. You could even find some in Texas, but most of it's known through this region here. So, we have a Boudin trail in Southwest Louisiana, and then there's also a trail when you get a little further east into the Lafayette area. So there's two big trails that are pamphlets, and there's all kinds of stores like mine and businesses where you can pick up one of those pamphlets and basically take a self tour and go around and try all the different ones.
Cool.
So it's just really big in this area.
Well, boudin is a sausage, but then I see that you also have boudin balls, but sausage can be made into balls as well as like just normal sausage, right? And so tell us what is in boudin, like the typical boudin, because I know when we were there, you were like, you can do anything you want to boudin. But what is in boudin? Rice is a main part, right? That's a big part.
Right. Rice, we use long grain rice in ours. And we also use pork in it. We use pork meat and pork liver, and then I could get into more of it. If you want to learn how to cook it more, I guess watch the video. But I'll give you a quick brief rundown. Basically, we take the pork meat, and then we take pork liver, and we'll put it in a big stock pot, and then we'll put a little bit of onions, bell pepper, celery, the Cajun Trinity, a little bit of that in there, and then we'll start off with some pre-seasoning to go in it, and then we'll basically fill the pot up and start kind of boiling that meat down until until it gets nice and tender, and we'll get us a good it'll get a good stock into the pot with that, and then we'll cook our rice separate. And the way we do it is we cook for every 3 parts pork meat, we use 1 part liver. That varies in everybody's boudin. That it's just nobody's going to have it the same. That's just how we do it. And then on the rice, like for every 40 pounds of meat we use roughly 60 cups of rice. And we cook that rice separate. So that yields roughly 90 to 100 pounds of boudin is what you normally get from that.
Wow.
And then once yes,
that's
ma'am.
a lot. I'm saying that's a lot. I'm like, no one's doing this at home unless you got a big family, but that can happen too. But you're boiling and then you mix it together, right? Because you had those big mixers too when we were there.
Right. Well, we do most of it by hand. We have a grinder. We grind it through, but most of the mixing part is all mixed by hand. After it's cooked, we'll strain the meat out. We'll save the stock. We'll take the cooked rice. We'll dump it in a big mixing lug. Is what we call it. It's like a industrial lug for the food prep business, and we'll put it in there, and and we'll chop the rice up, and then we'll add some of the stock back into the rice, because you need that stock going into it to get it kind of, to where you can mix it and shoot it through your stuffer. But right before we do that, we'll add more seasoning to the stock. Basically that consists of salt, black, red, garlic, and then we put, we have some secret ingredients. We put some other Cajun seasonings in there, and then we mix that all up, and then we will grind the meat into that mixture, and then we mix it all by hand. So it basically looks like a big dressing when you're done, inside that lug, and then from there we take it and we'll bring it over to our stuffer. And then the reason we try to hit 90 to 100 pounds is because that's how much our stuffer holds. So at one time, so we put it into our stuffer, and then from there we'll take and shoot that product into a natural hog casing, and we'll make like 1 pound links out of that mixture, and basically that's boudin.
Yeah, and then because I remember watching that, it's like this casing is like so that's hog casing, and I was watching it. It's like, wow, it went fast, and it's man, you got to stay on it. But
yeah, it's pretty fast. Yeah, and then we shoot it while it's still hot, so You got to be quick with it and get it out of there. And, because you don't want your casing, getting all dried up on your horn and breaking on you and stuff like that. So there's little tricks to the trade and all that. Anybody that wants to do it at home, that you would do it on a much smaller scale. And there's little horn stuffers that people could use, that they could do like 5 or 10 pounds at a time. And it's not near as pressing as the stuff that I'm talking about.
I know, because it was like crazy. You're talking to us and this stuff's shooting through. I'm like, if it was Nancy and I doing that and Priscilla, our sock monkey, I remember calling you up. You're like, you're the women with the sock monkey. And I'm like, yeah, we are. The person they're looking at this going like, if it was us, it would look worse than I Love Lucy show with sausage, not with the chocolates or the one with the wine. This would be bad. But tell us about, you said like basic, this was so interesting. You said that Boudin, like, across the country, everybody's got their specialty food, but Boudin is yours. So if a salesperson's going to go to a business meeting, they take the Boudin instead of donuts, right? You better be taking that if you're going to make that sale.
That's right. Especially in this area, people, that's what they're going to want to see. We have Boudin, regular Boudin, we smoke it, and so we have a smoke form of it. We send out. And then we make Boudin balls with it, which has got an Italian breadcrumb mixture that we put on the outside. We stuff those with pepper jack cheese. So then we make a Cajun egg roll that's got Boudin, bacon, and pepper jack cheese inside it, and it's fried. And all that's fried in natural hog lard that we produce from our cracklings we make. So it's so good.
Don't tell our doctor about this. I'm just saying. It's like, don't tell. I think this.
I have a few doctors that stop in here and buy stuff, so I wouldn't say a doctor recommend it, but they do. I try to get a sponsor every once in a while. I hadn't one bite off on it yet, but they do eat it.
Yeah. No. Okay. So I want to ask this on your Facebook page, and everyone, you go BO Kitchen and Grocery on Facebook, and you'll find it in Sulphur, Louisiana. You say on there, come by for the best Boudin. See, like you were saying earlier, the best. And I know we're going to get emails from this. So you know how it is, because the Boudin Wars and Boudin Trail, and everybody wants to have the best Boudin. But I'm just saying, Jeff is good. You've got cracklings, beef jerky, smoked sausage, because I remember you opening that smoker door, and you weren't kidding. You do smoke your own sausage. That sounds really funny to say, but it's true. And you do hogshead cheese. You got Nancy and I eating hoghead cheese, which we didn't think we would eat, but we did. Specialty meat, stuffed chickens. So you stuff chickens. And then you have Cajun Slim Jim. So I want to know, is a Cajun Slim Jim part of the sausage repertoire? It's
actually, we use our sausage seasoning when we make our Cajun Slim Jims. It's just instead of a standard hog casing like we would shoot our Boudin into, it's a natural sheep casing. It's a very small casing, so that's what we use to make those. And it's all we use all beef, so it's all beef in there. It's fully cooked. There's no preservatives, so. We basically make a batch, we vacuum seal them until they sell out, and then we'll make another fresh batch. So we don't mass produce them, so we don't put all that other stuff in them to keep them preserved. So so we yeah,
that's a good point.
And we make two kinds. Yeah, we make two kinds of those, so they're good sellers.
Oh, Nancy,
but I would consider that in the sausage line.
That's in the line of sausage, Slim Jim. So he's a little skinnier than the big Boudin, right? So a little smaller.
Right.
But does it dry? Like, because a Slim Jim to me would be almost, we used to live in South Africa, so we have Burrows and then Druivorst, which is dry sausage. And they would do thin sticks of sausage that were dry, like, what's biltong here, Nancy?
Beef jerky.
Kind of like jerky. Yeah. But it was dry sausage jerky.
No,
it's not dry. It's got a moisture to it because we make sure we have enough beef fat in when we're doing the when we're blending it, you gotta make sure you have enough fat in there that's what gives it the moisture inside of it. So, it's not, I wouldn't say it's, really juicy, but it's not dry, either. So it's just right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with South Africa, the Boudin-Sausage, when they did the Boudin-Sausage, it wasn't dry. It still had that moisture. And Boudin-Sausage is almost like Boudin. They don't have rice in it though, but it has a
No.
lot of fat. And so
Yeah.
it's just not the same as bratwurst. It's just not the same. And Boudin to me was the closest. Wouldn't you say, Nancy? Boudin was close to, but you would barbecue it.
I think the seasoning has something to do with that too.
Yeah, because of the pepper. So is Boudin more French, or is it just an amalgamation of cultures coming together and saying this is what we got and this is what we're going to make?
I would say it's French. That's something that's been carried down through my ancestral line for years. So and my line's traced back all the way to France. So I believe that it came through that line. As far back as I know anyway. So, and my folks are pretty French. And
then South Africa has some French history with the Huguenots that settled there. So I can see why there's similarity to some of the foods.
And we feel at home in Louisiana there. Like there's just something about your area that's just, and here, like Lake Charles, Sulphur, it's all part of the Louisiana no man's land, which was for 3 years. The Louisiana Purchase happened, and then for 3 years, there was no law and order in this region. It goes all the way up to Shreveport, but Natchitoches, Alexandria, all those areas up, part of no man's land, and Lake Charles is definitely part of it. And can you imagine? We had privateers, rum runners, we had boudin makers. I mean,
Sounds like
what was
fun
going
to
on back
me.
then, So I just want to tell people, if you go out there's also a gas station food trail. So if you go to visitnomansland.com, you'll be able to see more about this area, which is where Jeff is. He's part of no man's land, but he's got the boudin shop. So he's got his own land going on. So Jeff, before you go, we're gonna have to see you soon. We're gonna see you when we come through to Louisiana again for sure, because we can't 7-8 years. That's just not right.
That's not right.
And besides, the
it's
sock
time
monkey
for a
wants,
visit.
Priscilla the sock monkey wants to revisit you, and we want cracklins because you got cracklins. That cracklins are good. Now, when we're eating cracklins, what are we actually eating? Do I want to know?
Ask those things.
Yeah, you want to know. You like bacon? I mean, it's basically the same thing bacon's made out of. So it has the rind on it. So it's the belly from the pig, and then that's diced up, and it's got a little bit of the back part of the skin on the pig with some fat on it. So it's kind of a blend of both sides of it and diced up, and we fry it. And some of the Spanish or Mexican culture calls it chicharrones or whatever. So it's kind of similar to that, but we do them a little different, and they're just deep fried. And then we put a little bit of salt on them, some of them, and some of them we have a Cajun and seasoning we put on them. So we have 2 different kinds of those. But those are very popular. This little business was started mainly with that item there. So, and then we kind of went, when we had boudin and sausage, but that was the biggest seller here for a long time.
Wow.
Well, I remember it because of the Cajun one, the seasoning. To me, it was just like, oh, that just hit that happy spot, man. I was like, everything that that right amount of spice, and you just felt all happy when you eat them. So I want some cracklings.
There's nothing like a fresh one. There's nothing like a fresh one right out of the pot. Once you have one like that, it's like you don't ever want another one. So that's the best.
Man, we had so much fun at your place, and I think I want people to understand Louisiana. I mean, Louisiana is just a state on its own. Like, it really is unique and diverse, and the food, I mean, the people, you guys are so cool.
It's much fun.
It is
really
fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. I mean,
I know most of the other business owners that are in the same business as us are very welcoming and very, very, they like to share the culture. So, that's a big part of being, in Louisiana is to teach people about our culture and what we do. And I'm definitely an advocate for that. So, I love talking to different people about what we do and our past and how we come to be and just love it. I love people like y'all that come through and spread the word, so it's great.
Yeah,
I've had people when y'all come through the last time. Actually, I've had people come from all over, to check in and ask me. They call me on the phone, wanting to know what was that secret ingredient I put in the pot and stuff. So they're trying to make it at home. So it's just good. I have to explain to them. Not everyone's the same. So just get what you make it how you like it, and and that's your boudin. So
yeah. No, I think that's
a
so
great
cool.
deal.
Yeah, I think it's awesome because then people in different places get to learn about Louisiana and Louisiana culture and food, and everyone will start to do the you're gonna have to do that for me at the end. But now, okay, I do need to touch on this. I know we're going overtime, but I don't care. Hog's head cheese. You got us to have, is it hog's head or hog head cheese? You got us to eat this.
Hog's head
So
cheese.
this is not a sausage though. This is like a
it's more like a pork pate is what I would call it. But originally it was made from the head. They would basically boil the head down, take the meat off the jowls, and pick it off certain parts of the head with the skin, and then they would they would cook it with some seasoning and stuff, and they would pull it off, grind it down, and then it would from the meat, the skin on the head would make it would gel when you would grind it down, so it would make like that. Well, we don't do that anymore. We use basically hocks and pork meat. The hocks gives it the same gelling effect that with the skin on the hocks is the head did. So we use that. We use the same seasons we did before. So here you're not actually eating the head. I don't know if there's many places that actually use it anymore.
Okay.
Probably for sanitary reasons, but but that's basically what it is, and it tastes a lot like boudin, in my opinion, but without the rice, and it's in a cold form, so you can put it on crackers. You can. We sell a hog head cheese sandwich on our menu here, so it's just something that we provide here. So we have some very, very unique items on our menu.
I remember you having your own seasoning too. Am I wrong? Don't you have your own seasonings too?
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, we have our own seasoning. We have 2 different kinds that we sell to the public, and then we use it. We use it on our own products here. So
I want to come get some of that because I'm telling you, you got to have the right spice. It helps. It's like Nancy and I, wherever we are, if we can get Zatarain's, we're getting Zatarain's because it's close. It's like, okay, it's as close as we can get to having some of that Louisiana food. And we love it. So, all right. So are you ready for the sausage game? Okay.
Okay,
so
let's do it.
Sausage game is, do you want to play music, movies, or books?
Music.
All right. So you're going to take a band or a song title and you're going to change one of the words out to sausage. So tell us what the band name or the song title is.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I should have picked something else.
Oh, well, think about the last band. Who do you like? What band do you like? Let's go to your music that you like.
Okay. Well, I like Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates. So you could do Hall & Sausage.
Hall & Sausage, okay. Hall & Sausage.
Yeah, or you could do Sausage and Oats. Or you could do Sausage and Oats. It's all good. I like Holland sausage though, because it's not like Hall and it's like Holland. You're Holland sausage. He's slinging in Holland sausage at B&O Kitchen and Grocery.
I can relate to that. I've done a lot of that.
He's slinging the sausage. That's it. Thank you so much, Jeff. It is so good
That's
to
fun.
reconnect with you, and we'll see you next time as we come through Louisiana and go through No Man's Land and Lake Charles.
All right. Well, thanks, Lisa and Nancy. Good talking to y'all.
Yeah,
You
you have a
too.
good day. That's awesome.
It's sausage day.
It's sausage day.
And we get to go to England and play bangers and mash with Glynn Burrows, owner of Norfolk Tours. You know, he's on our show every fourth Saturday. And if we're going to talk about sausage, of course, we got to find out what's going on with sausage in England. So welcome back, Glynn. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
All right. Is it always bangers and mash? Is that when you think sausage, bangers and mash, sausage rolls? What do you think? What should we know about England and sausage?
Yeah,
I'm trying to word this correctly.
Bangers and mash has to be the classical English dish, really. You know, lovely, creamy mashed potato with 3 or 4 lovely old bangers on the top. It's just
Bangers.
what we need. Yeah, and the reason they're called bangers is because they go pop and bang when they're cooking, because the skins split and then they pop. So that's why they're called bangers. It's nothing naughty. It's just it's the noise they make.
So you can't go around and say you've got banging bangers.
No,
Yeah.
it's about the noise. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The noise.
and-
I didn't know that. Huh.
Well, our chef Ivan was talking about what you call it the skin. He called it the casing
Yes.
of the sausage, and he was talking about that. the
Yeah. Well, I
other
mean,
day, too.
it used to be intestine. You know, it used to be actual intestines. Now it's sort of made of some funny sort of plasticky stuff, but it always a sausage used to be a stuffed intestine.
That's nice.
Yeah, no. Well, you know, sausages
Yeah.
are made of rubbish, basically,
Yeah.
that is minced up and stuffed into an intestine.
Now, when you
Yes.
have bangers, are they like pork or are they beef or are they specific, or can you get them like like here we have turkey sausage
Yeah.
and chicken sausage? I know,
No,
Glynn, we
dude.
wrap them in
No.
bacon with apple.
No. In England, most sausages are going to be pork. You do get beef and pork, but generally speaking, a sausage is made of minced pork, breadcrumbs, seasoning, and depends on how much fat you put in it as to obviously how much grease comes out of them. But you know, it's basically meat, breadcrumbs, seasoning, and whatever else you got to put in. You know, any sort of sweepings off the floor.
A little bit of rat tail. I mean,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
not? Glynn, what about sausage rolls? I miss a good sausage roll. I know that sounds, I'm serious,
Hello.
because it's got the pastry. It's around
Yeah.
the little weenie.
Yeah.
So are those like bangers with dough, or is it a different kind of sausage in the sausage roll?
No, normally speaking, in England, at Christmas time, especially, you can buy sausage meat, which is just basically minced pork, and then you can mix it up to your own recipe, and you can use that to stuff different things with. But the other times of the year, you can either buy sausages, take the skins off, and make them into sausage rolls by wrapping that in pastry, or you can buy pork sausage meat and roll that out in tubes and put that in pastry, and they make lovely sausage rolls.
Ooh.
I mean, you can adapt by mixing in different seasonings, by finely chopping onions and putting that in it. If you want to put apples in it, you can even put apples in it.
Ooh,
You
with
can get
bacon.
With bacon.
pork and apple sausages. You have
See?
pork and leek sausages.
Ooh.
You know, you
That
put
sounds
an
good.
onion. Yeah, there are so many different sorts. But the nice thing about England is that you can get lots of local sausages. So, for instance, in Cumberland, which is northern England, up on the Scottish borders, you get a really lovely Cumberland sausage, just a more chunky sausage. And Gloucestershire, they make their own sausages out of Gloucestershire old spot pigs. They have a lot of sage in that. Lincolnshire sausages. They normally have a bit of thyme and sage. Manchester sausage is a bit herby. Sometimes they have sort of ginger and nutmeg and.
Oh,
Wow.
What about Norfolk?
Marylebone sausages. Every butcher has his own sausage recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Oxford sausages. We've got lemon and pork and marjoram. You like I say, you have a pork and apple sausage. So you.
Well, this goes with you talking about always going locally instead of, go to the butcher and and get their special sausage.
Yes, Lisa. You go to the butcher and you get his own recipe that he makes himself. And 9 out of 10 butchers have their own recipes that have been handed down for generations.
Yeah.
And they don't share them, whereas and this is what I'm always on and on about, use a proper bed and breakfast or a proper cafe in the local areas, and you will get local food and you will get a taste of where you are,
Right, exactly right.
The local. So in fact, I took some guests to Newmarket. Newmarket is a really beautiful little town. It's in the heart of horse racing country. In fact, I'm going there next week with a couple of visitors. And there was this lovely big hotel in the middle of Newmarket. Well, Newmarket actually have their own sausages. They're called Newmarket sausages. And we went down for breakfast in the morning and the sausages were disgusting. So I said to the hotel receptionist, I said, why are you not serving Newmarket sausages? You're in Newmarket. What part of marketing don't you understand? So they actually, what they did for the next morning when we got up, they had actually gone to the butchers and they'd got me and my guests Newmarket sausages for breakfast. Now, why they hadn't done that in the first place, I don't know. But they were buying sausages from the cash and carry.
Oh, no.
They tasted like, I won't tell you what they tasted like.
The ones that you're talking about, what's coming off the floor.
Exactly.
Well, my dad and my grandfather ran their own butchery, and they had these big plastic containers full of different spice mixes. And when we were kids, we would come in, we're supposed to knead the pork sausage with the spices. That was one of our jobs that we did. And we would, we'd play with it and make little figures out of it and stuff because they're kids. But,
I hope you wash your hands beforehand.
Yes, but they were very much on you must wash your hands, and you have to wash your hands between spices too.
Yeah,
so that the spices would, because I remember Christmas sausage was a whole different ball game with the spices than regular sausage.
So Nancy, we can put on your resume, Nancy's first job was kneading sausage. That's terrible.
Well, yeah.
Glynn, you've got to play sausage game, but I do want everyone to know your website. It's Norfolk-Tours.co.uk. Again, Glynn is here on Big Blend Radio every fourth Saturday. You can read his articles on Blend Radio and TV.com. And especially now, Glynn was telling us just before we started recording, now is the time to visit England because apparently it is way cheap for us Americans to get over there right now. So we should do it. So let's go, everybody. Let's go. So
that would be so much fun.
I know. Before you go, let's play the sausage game. Would you like movies, books, or music?
Well, I think it's a book and a film.
Oh, okay. Well then, so you take the title of the book or the film, and whichever one they are, and replace one word in the title with the wonderful word sausage.
Yeah, I am going to go for A Clockwork Sausage.
Oh, clockwork sausage.
There you go.
I love it, Glynn. Thank you so much, Glynn, and enjoy the next bite of sausage.
That's funny.
I will indeed. See you later.
Okay.
Sausage Day.
It's Sausage Day.
We're going to South Africa for Sausage Day. Actually, we're stopping in England first. We're going to chat with my good and dear friend Melissa, who went to high school with me, and Nancy. She was well behaved, right? The two of us.
Yes.
Mostly.
Just in case Mr. Rippon hears, Mr. and Mrs. Rippon here, the parents may hear, but in South Africa, and it's Sausage Day, and we cannot leave out boerewors from South Africa, because when you live in South Africa, everybody loves to have a lekker braai.
A lekker braai, yes.
A braai place, which is a barbecue, right? Now,
Correct,
you live in England now, Mel, but you go back and forth to South Africa. So please, boerewors is farm sausage, right? Because
it is,
farm.
Yeah. So it's minced meat basically in like a skin with special herbs and spices. So minced meat can be either, or I think most meats would be beef and pork and lamb inside the sausage with some herbs and spices. And normally we would do it on a fire in South Africa, but there's also like a breakfast boerewors sausage, which you can have for breakfast, which is a thinner version. So you've got a thicker version and a thinner version, which you could have. So it's quite tasty.
Some people like the thick version, but the thin one is I always thought was good. And for boerewors,
it's thin for the morning and thicker as the day goes on.
Yes. So the dry sausage is normally thin, isn't it? Or doesn't it?
Yeah, the boerewors is the thin one. So that one's a very similar process, except it goes in the dryer, so it gets dehydrated.
Not the dryer for your clothing, people.
No, not the dryer for your clothing. No. The food dryer.
Yes.
Some people like their sausage moist. Some want it dry. Basically.
Yeah. So it's like a nice protein snack.
Yeah, that's it. But now the lamb part is different compared to most of the sausage that we would talk about in the States. So that's kind of, because I forgot South Africa, mutton is kind of that's a big main meal there.
Yeah. No, I think most South Africans, they would say that their favorite meat is lamb. And I would say with regards to the sausages, the lamb's a bit fattier, so therefore it gives it a bit of fat inside the sausage and helps with tenderizing it when you cook it on the fire. So even on the barbecues, sometimes obviously the sausage is set alight because of the fat bursting in the lamb, inside the sausage. But yeah, no, it definitely tenderizes it, which makes it nice and juicy.
I remember the people, when we were barbecuing or braaiing, they would throw beer on the sausage all the time.
It gives extra flavor. No, you're right there. It kills the flames, kills the flames from killing the sausage.
What is your favorite way to have a boerewors? Now, if you're going to have it, are you going to go for the breakfast, or do you want the thick boerewors? And what is your side dish with it, like a real South African side?
If I'm honest, I think my favorite is to have it at breakfast time, with like the English breakfast in a sense. So either that, or so you would have your eggs, bacon, beans, mushrooms, and whatever.
See, they don't do that here. Beans is not.
Beans.
Maybe Massachusetts does. I don't know, but
beans. But
baked beans is part of it.
Beans is really good. Yeah. And then if, so for example, it was a thick boerewors, then perhaps just a hot dog with a bun with some tomato sauce and what do you call it? Mustard.
Yes. Ketchup, everybody. Ketchup. Tomato sauce is ketchup. So yes. See, and then I wanted the train smash. I always wanted train smash.
Yeah, that too. Sorry, the relish. Yeah, the relish. We don't have a lot of that over here in the UK, but in South Africa you would have like tomato and onion stew, which is the relish, as you say, with some garlic and some herbs, a little bit of sugar to take away the sharpness of the tomato.
And South Africa, everybody puts sugar on, like even the carrots and everything, So it's interesting. Okay, so Mel, we've got to play the sausage game. No one gets away without playing sausage. So choose movie, music, or book.
Movie.
Okay, movie. Okay. So think of a movie that you enjoy and tell us what the name is, but you replace one of the words in the title with the almighty word sausage.
This is fun. You've got mail. So you've got sausage.
That's good. That's something that you could do on a first
That's
date.
funny.
Like-
That's funny. My, what a big
That's a good line.
sausage you have.
Oh. Oh boy. And you could be sleepless with sausage, you know.
I was going to say sleepless in sausage.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Well,
Wow.
good job, Mel. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
telling us all about, Boudin-Sausage. I do miss a good, Wors.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we're fortunate that we can get it here in the UK, so I still do order it in the UK. But every now and again, it's a good treat.
Do they still have Castle Lager in South Africa?
They do. You can order at the South African shops here in the UK. So that and quite a few other
Wow.
nice things from South Africa, like cream soda and I
Marmite.
order my biltong, so my like beef jerky from the shops here. So we're very fortunate in that way that we've got access to those sort of products, because quite a lot of South Africans obviously in the UK.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Awesome.
So the only part of South Africa, well, obviously the scenery in South Africa, but the family as well is obviously reasons for going back. And but we've got a lot of what we have in South Africa here in the UK, so we're quite fortunate.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.